For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. On infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections.
If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who wanted until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious.
Violence and vandalism is being led by Antifa and other radical left-wing groups who are terrorizing the innocent, destroying jobs, hurting businesses, and burning down buildings. They are coming after me because I am fighting for you. That's what's happening.
Greetings, fellow thought criminals, and thank you for joining the Insurrection. I'm Michael Lauber. This is Derrick Evans. It's Wednesday, and it's going to be another glorious day in the new golden era that is upon us.
It is, but you know what? Every day right now with Trump in office is just a glorious day. The left is unhinged right now. I'm really struggling. I don't know if they hate President Trump more, if they hate Elon Musk more, if they hate themselves more, quite frankly. That's who these people are. As always, guys, like, share, subscribe. If you're watching live, hop in the comments. I will do my very best to give you guys a shout out, whatever you're watching on. We got Kelly Song in the Rumble chat. We got Calico Crazy in the Getter chat, and then in the X chats we already got Internet Rat, Riza Parsa, and Thaddeus. Appreciate you guys, and anyone who's watching on Rumble, whether you're on National File, our old channels or whatever. We're consolidating our entire Rumble audience into one at X America News. So if you're not on there, go to X America News on Rumble. Go ahead and subscribe there, because moving forward, that is going to be the only place you'll be able to find our show on X. So thank you guys for doing that.
Yeah, and sorry, on Rumble, that'll be the only place. And we got
sorry, on Rumble.
Yeah, we were all over the place. I mean, for a while, we were on 4 different Rumbles. We'll still be on the live Patriot TV one as well. But yeah, please go to the X America News. We have big plans over there, and it'll also be the home for a number of other shows that you see broadcast on X America News going forward, both for the live feeds and then for some of the shows that'll be pre-recorded over there. But again, we're trying to get that built up, make that a hub. We have some additional plans. We're going to be working with Rumble directly on a few things. So we can't really get into all that just now, but you'll want to subscribe now because there are some things coming in the near future there. But we got a great guest lined up for you today. Let me go ahead and bring him on. Eliel Rosa, how you doing this morning?
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate the invitation and the honor to be here with you to talk about not only my story, but our story. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes. Thanks for coming on the show, man. Eliel is a true patriot. Very unique January 6th patriot, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. But appreciate you for coming on, man.
Absolutely, my honor.
Yeah, and if you could, go ahead and give the audience like a little bit of a rundown. Obviously, your fellow J6 patriot, persecuted by the government, but your story is very unique. Mutual friend of ours, Derrick Evans, sent over your contact information to me. I got a little sidetracked, so it took me a few days to reach back out to you. I was trying to get caught up after getting back from Belgium, but go ahead and give our audience like a quick rundown of what makes your story so unique and what brought you here today.
Okay, so we have, and you correct my numbers here if I'm off, but the last time I checked, we are a family of 1,572 people. A couple of diverging numbers here. I am, to my knowledge, Mike, and oh my God, forgot your name.
Derrick.
Derrick.
It's all right. It's all right.
I am the only one non-citizen. That what makes me unique, and my case unique, is that I'm the only one non-citizen. And to begin with, I would like to start my conversation with you all by saying that there is this sentiment of the sense of apology, of sorrowfulness in my heart. I understand when the judge told me, one of the lines that really stuck with me on my sentencing on October the 12th, 2021, was when Judge Trevor McFadden said something that really hit me like a hammer on my head. He said, "This was a family business. You are not a citizen yet. You should not even be here." I understand exactly what he was talking about. He was saying, you are not part of the family yet. And this is why when I start my conversations, I talk about that. And I mean to, from the bottom of my heart, there is this sense of apology to the nation for my presence there. On the other hand, I can say that, and this is pretty, I trust my guts on this one. I have been more American than Brazilian for at least 30 years of my 57 years living in this planet, in God's world. So I learned to speak English. I was 6, 7, 8 years old, and I learned because of American missionaries came to my town. My dad was a pastor, and our church was one of the churches that would receive Americans missionaries. So I learned English because of American missionaries. When I started studying English with a private teacher, I was 14 years old, 12 actually years old. It was with an American teacher. Then 2 years later, 14 years old, I started my idiomatic career. I worked as an translator interpreter for 27, 28 years of my life. I was translator, interpreter, English, Portuguese, Spanish. So, and when I was 33 years old, I started working in politics. But when I started working in the political world, I traveled to 24 countries of the world, 93 cities in the planet. And the only thing I did in all these places, guys, was I taught the American Constitution. So I've been studying and teaching the American Constitution for over 2 decades of my life. So the uniqueness about my case, and again, we're here to talk about my J6 case. My J6 case, I believe I am, and I repeated that trend is many, many times. I believe that I am the poster child of the type of immigrant that Donald Trump, our president, wants to have in this country. And this is why I'm pleading my case. And I would love for my case to be heard by somebody that could, in a stroke of a pen, change my reality, my immigration status reality today.
Eliel, I already know the answers to these questions, but I think it's important to ask you a couple of quick, just fire, as quick as we can respond to answer questions here. Were you here in the country legally on January 6th?
I was here in the country legally for 5 years in 2021. So I arrived here in June 2016, before Trump's first election. And I came here, Derrick and Mike, I came here not to beg for an asylum after what happened with us in Brazil, a political hit job that we can talk about it in a minute. But I came here for my PhD in constitutional law and public policy. This is where I have been, the arena I've been working for over 20 years of my life, as I told you, in 24 countries of the world. So I knew that it was not only a norm, it was a belief system. I cannot be in this country 1 second as an illegal alien, but not only because I knew about the possible aftermaths, the results of that, but because I wanted to honor this country as much as America and Americans honored the country that I used to live, my native country. Everywhere I went in the world, I saw Americans doing something to bless that country, to prosper that country, and I wanted to honor that.
Well, here's the reason I asked that. That the judge made that comment of you should not have been there because you were not a citizen. I'm sorry, but you were here legally. I don't think that you did anything wrong in that regard. Furthermore, these same judges are out here protecting these illegals who are here right now, protesting for Hamas or the anti-Doge stuff. You know, all these people are out here in the streets right now protesting, shutting down traffic. They're here illegally protesting the ICE deportations, and these judges are going to defend those people. So that judge can kick rocks as far as that goes. Catch us up to speed really quick. How has the position that you're in right now in terms of getting arrested for peacefully being in the Capitol on January 6th and being here in this country legally, but how that has changed things? You were on path to getting your U.S. citizenship, from what I understand, and now that has all been
reset.
Affected. Yeah, reset, if you will. Kind of catch the audience as quickly as you can up to speed on that.
So I was in D.C. that day, and I was there the same way, and I did exactly the same things that I did in Phoenix, Arizona. I went to Phoenix, Arizona. Then I went to Charlie Kirk had a rally there, the Stop the Steal rally, if you guys remember. Actually, he had several ones. I was there for one of them. Then I flew to Atlanta, and what I did in Atlanta, I went there to door knock and block walk for Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue, the last 2 Senate seats that we needed to keep in order to give Trump at least some latitude there to work, and we were not able to do that. So I was there to peacefully protest. I was there protected, I believed, under the First Amendment right of peacefully assembling and petitioning the government. So I knew exactly what I was doing. Back to just a little bit to what you said about the judge, Derrick. I believe that he said that because of my incapacity, legal incapacity of right now voting, being voted for, and I understood that. So I just wanted to clarify that. I think that's where his mind was. Although I believe, Derrick, that I am more American than many Americans that are born here. I know that. I just know that. I hear that all the time. So I was in D.C. for that. Then I came back to Midland, where I live. When I heard that the FBI was hunting people down all over the country, I knocked at the FBI doors. I went to them because I knew that what they were already doing with people out there. Probably I would not have done that if I were a citizen, but as a non-citizen, I wanted to honor the country. I told them, I'm here. I want to talk about what I did or did not do. I'm here to take responsibility for whatever you guys tell me that why you're hunting people down. You don't need to hunt me down. This is my address. This is why I'm here. The guys did not. What the guy told me, he said, well, he talked to me for 2.5 hours. He said, go home because we don't even have indictments. And the judge said that in the sentencing. He said, I had never seen in 27 years on the bench, I never saw a guy turn himself in before the indictments even came out. So I wanted to honor this country, not the judge itself, but the ideals, not ideas, but ideals behind America, and the principles that I so much honor, that I so much respect, that so much admire in this country. So I was detained. 3 days later, he calls. I receive another phone call from the FBI. I'm detained for 7 hours, and I'm released under a PR bond. And then I was sentenced. I signed a plea deal on picketing and parading on state ground, something like that. And again, one thing that I told the judge when he allowed me to speak in court, I said, sir, based on Federalist Paper 51, as James Madison said, men are not angels. If men were angels, no government would be necessary. And I said, I'm here because I'm no angel. And if I did something wrong, I submit to your verdict. And he said that also. He said, I never had anybody quoting Federalist Paper at me in court before. So all of that to show the Americans that I am not an American paying lip service here. I really understand why this country is what it is. This is why I have here on my right hand the Mayflower, the ship, and I have here the Founder's Bible based on the Constitution and all the founding documents on top of the Word of God and all the 3 branches of government. I understand what that means, and this is why that's why I was in D.C. that day, Derrick.
Yeah. Well, I want to underscore something here real quick too, because I think you were probably in a very similar situation to a number of other people immediately following January 6th. People were not expecting this 4-year manhunt trying to crucify people that were there. You're expecting to be treated the same way the Summer of Love George Floyd rioters were. That, maybe you'd get a ticket for picketing and parading, or trespassing, something like that you'd go in, you'd pay a small fine, take your lumps, and then go back home, go back to your normal life. But that isn't what the Biden regime wanted. They wanted scalps. They wanted to take down as many people as humanly possible. Now, it sounds like you took an early plea deal, but where things really get nasty is here recently when, of course, you and everyone else from January 6th were pardoned by President Trump. Now they've used that as an excuse in an unlawful manner. There is no law that backs this up, to reset your path to citizenship that you should have been coming up to it here in the near future, correct?
That's correct. So, yeah, go ahead, Baron. Sorry.
And instead now they're making you essentially restart the process. That's going to cost a huge amount of money out of your pocket to redo this $25,000. When in reality, this is just a political harassment decision that we've seen made by warped people at our Department of Justice to interrupt and disrupt your life and to take this away from you, make you wait another possibly 5 years to become a citizen here.
That's correct. So, I have been talking to friends, people that support our ministry. So again, we have not touched on those grounds yet, but I launched 7 years ago, January 8th, 2018. I launched the Nehemiah School of Government here in Midland. What I do is here, I teach the Constitution and the Declaration and the founding principles behind the documents to Americans, because many Americans do not know. And I always believed in my life, guys, that you can only love deeply, truly, something that you know, something that you really know and admire and honor. So this is what we've been doing here for 7 years now. But I never had a traffic fine in my entire life. Again, the judge said that from his bench. He said, this was an aberration in your life. And then, of course, he just blasted me. He said this was one of the most shameful moments in America. He did not say anything about 9/11 or Pearl Harbor, but he said this was one of the most shameful moments in American history. You were there. You are a civics teacher. I don't understand what you were doing there. In my head, I was like, well, I was there exactly because I am a civics teacher. But I understood his point. And my greatest concern in all the process, guys, was not in the criminal arena. Because I knew what I had done. I knew what I had not done. The videos were shown to me in the discovery process, and everything that was shown to me was exactly what nobody changed videos, corrupted videos to show me doing something I was not doing. So I was not as much worried as I was about the immigration arena. Because I knew that as soon as Trump, and again, I had the expectation, as all of us did, that Trump would win in the election 2024. But again, we did not have that written in stone. We didn't know. We had to work a lot. And as he said, too big to rig. We worked our butts off to do that. And we were able to do that. But one thing that Americans need to understand, that immigrants like me undergo is, and again, you guys are never going to undergo that, because unless you move to another country, right?
Yeah.
But my thing is, in the immigration arena, is that they are forcing me. It was a political decision by USCIS. The political decision was they sent me a letter 32 days prior to Trump's inauguration, not election, inauguration. Because Trump was already spreading the word out there to the world, for the world cameras and microphones. I am going to pardon everybody. So in order to give me this final headache, they send me 32 days prior to the inauguration a 7-page letter, and one line only. They said why they were denying my green card. It was because I did not show contrition enough. That was the reason. Subjective, abstract. How do you know? How can you measure contrition levels? Did they want me to grovel and cry? And
yes, that's what
beg?
they wanted you to do, and you would have got the same outcome. They would have said the
There you
same thing regardless, but that's what they wanted, and that's why they were mad. That's why they were upset. I'm going to clear some chats really quick. I know we're going to go to break, but I wanted to go ahead and get Shepard over in the Rumble chat. We got Shepard Lenny, we got JR. We got Dan Dreyer, and then we got Nan from Michigan. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, and all the other chats. I'm still monitoring them. We'll get to you guys sometime after the break.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and jump to the break here about a minute early. So, guys, stay with us, and we're going to be right back with even more.
Play your trump card and support Make America Great Again with the donor deck. Get your hands on 52 exquisite playing cards, each with powerful quotes from scripture and stunning artwork. Plus, showcase your MAGA pride with a beautiful display case and a reversible challenge coin. By purchasing the donor deck, you become an official donor, contributing to our cause and helping President Trump reclaim the White House. Get your donor deck today and play your part in making America great again.
Go to the Patriot.tv store and get your donor deck now.
Attention business owners and entrepreneurs, Patriot TV is launching a brand new TV series showcasing American-made products, and your business could be featured. Whether you sell your products online on Etsy or Shopify and dream of reaching millions of viewers on smart TVs like Samsung, Sony, TCL, and LG, or apps like Roku, Android, and Apple TV, this is your chance. We're searching for US-based businesses offering all types of products and services proudly made in the USA. If you've ever wanted to showcase your products on TV like QVC or the Home Shopping Network, now's your opportunity. Support our American economy, grow your business, and be seen by loyal Patriot viewers across the country. Know someone with a business or have a business yourself? Don't miss out. Contact us at supportingpatriots.com today. Be a guest on this new exciting TV series. Let's put your American-made products in the spotlight.
What do a neurosurgeon, a country artist, and a television and radio host have in common? They all saw the writing on the wall. Big banks sharing your financial information with big government. Join them as owners in Old Glory Bank, the pro-America online bank that protects your privacy, security, and liberty. Invest today at own.oldglorybank.com.
Thank you for staying with us. And again, the best way to support our program and all the programs here on Patriot TV is by supporting our sponsors. I know we still got a lot to get through, so I want to jump right back to your story here because I think you're kind of just starting to outline the really impactful part that, again, this was done out of political spite. They wanted you to grovel at their feet. They wanted you to denounce President Trump, denounce going to Washington, D.C. And because you didn't do that, they instead took away from you this opportunity, something you've strived for, fought for, and you've gone through all the right steps to become a citizen here in the United States. And again, you are the kind of person that we want to bring here, somebody that's come in from another country that really does understand our values, that wants to become an American, integrate with our society. And we've talked about this a lot from other people we know that are in similar situations. Someone like Inaz, Andy Cyrus, regular guest of our program here. She came here from Iran. She had to escape to Turkey and then eventually was given an asylum visa. Like, these are the kind of people that we are here to help, rather than the 30+ million people that have invaded our country over the last 4 years and are primarily economic migrants, as you stated earlier. They're here to enrich themselves, and unfortunately, a lot of them are also taking advantage of our welfare system and just robbing our country blind right now, and we don't have means to pay for it.
Right.
Well, I want to quickly read some X comments for Eliel, just so you know. So, itinerant rat, I'm just calling you Rat from now on, says that Eliel is spiritually American. Thaddeus says Eliel is more American than all of the Democrats. JC says, true statement, he's definitely more American than most Americans. And then Thaddeus says, we should petition President Trump to grant Eliel his citizenship. And then another shout out to Recon One as well. So I wanted to let you know, the chat has got your back here on all of this. I want to quickly state something. This is not a coincidence that they are targeting you, because you are the exact opposite type of person that the left wants here in our country. They are all about mass immigration, borderless things. Unless you're going to come here and actually be a patriot who loves America and wants to protect the Constitution, then that's not okay. And then the last thing I wanted to say is, it's not a coincidence that when they restarted this, it could take 5 years, because the Trump term is 4 years, and they're hoping that they will be back in power to go ahead and get rid of you during that 5th and final year. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't think that's a coincidence at all.
And actually, I got a quick question too, and we'll turn it back over to you. Are you a lawful permanent resident right now, where taking that away would be much more difficult, or are you still just oh man, that's rough.
Okay, so that is the point. So I was just sharing before the break. I was there talking to a person, USCIS agent, 3 years ago. I was called for an interview, and so my two kiddos were there. Actually, my youngest son, which was something like, I considered it to be a blessing from the Lord, but it was like a point out of the curve. This is not normal. They gave my youngest son his green card. This is not something usual. They give the whole family the green card, or they give nobody the green card. They deny everybody. So they gave his, and then my oldest son, my wife, and I were there 3 years later, 3 years earlier, before in El Paso, USCIS. And they talked to my son and my wife for 10 or 15 minutes. They wanted them to prove my story. They wanted to double check with what was my story. But what the summary of this story, the shortened version of the story, is they denied my visa. So I applied for the green card in 2020. The whole family did. And they have USCIS 5 years max to either grant the green card or deny the green card. So the 5 years, the deadline was January, was this past January. So they gave me 32 days prior to Trump's inauguration, with the understanding that, and this is me thinking, I'm not stupid, right? I'm smart, I can think, you guys can think. They gave me that because Trump was already sharing the information loud and clear. I am going to forgive these guys, to pardon these guys, because, I mean, they were provoked, they were instigated, and, I mean, it's so clear. So not only now, everything related to, it's called adjustment of status, Form I-485. This is the adjustment of status between asylum and green card. So everything connected to I-485, and let me tell you what that means. My wife and my son applied for a travel document to visit my wife's father. He has a terminal cancer. She wants to hug him before he goes. And they denied her trip to Brazil. Under a humanitarian case, you can go back to the country that you applied for asylum from. If you have a humanitarian cause. They denied her. They denied my son. They denied my grandbaby. So I just became a granddad a year and a half ago.
Congratulations.
And now we have thank you. Now we have the second grandbaby 6 months ago. And they denied in Brazil, guys. The Consulate General of the United States in Brazil denied my two grandbabies, 1 year and a half year old and 7-month-old baby, their visa, so they could not visit me here, because they know that I cannot leave. If I leave America, I can go anywhere, but I cannot return because I don't have a travel document, and everything is based on that. So besides that, you have at least $5,000 to $6,000 in government fees. And I do not want to risk giving my case to a lawyer that I don't know, and that's going to be charging me $1,000. I'm going to a top dog in Texas, but this guy he wants $10,000 just to start the whole thing, because it is not only an immigration thing, it also is coupled with the criminal arena. So it is just, and what I decided with close friends, I said, guys, you know what? I am going to apply for the EAD, which is the employment authorization document, so I can keep working here. And this was going to be connected not with the adjustment of status, but with the asylum. By the way, I don't know if you know that, but if one asylee wants to die to live in America forever as an asylee, you can. Asylee is forever, unless you commit a big crime, money laundering, kill somebody. Yeah. So I did not need to do that. I could be just peacefully here for the rest of my life, but I want to be a part of this country. I want to vote. I want to, as an asylee, for example, I cannot have a gun. I cannot purchase. I cannot have anything to do with a gun. My Second Amendment right is not, it doesn't cover me. I said it's not mine, it's yours. So the Second Amendment does not cover me. So these are the things. I want full citizenship, and I certainly, and with every fiber of my being, believe that if President Trump hears about my case, somebody in his orbit, I am the guy he wants here for as an immigrant, as a new immigrant that is going to become a citizen. And this is my life's dreams, and this is worth fighting for. I never believed that the American citizenship should be granted. I always believe that the American citizenship should be earned. And I believe that in these 8-9 years that we've been here, I believe that we earned that, especially now that we fulfilled the 5-year span of time of wait for the green card. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree with you too. You know, you've taken all the right steps. You've done everything the right way. You've been an asset to our country while you're here, helping to educate people. Also, running the other organizations, the church, and your involvement there. You've been an asset to the country, which is again what we're looking for in someone that wants to immigrate here. And again, you've done everything correctly. You've jumped through all the hoops. You've paid all the fees. You've done everything you're supposed to. So I want to bring this up here real quick. This is your Give, Send, Go. So with our audience, if anybody out there wants to help out, I'll tweet out a link to this too after we get off air. I'm sorry, I forgot to do that before the show. It's been kind of a busy morning over here. But again, really what we need to do is get your information to somebody within Trump's orbit that can push this forward and get something done, because you of all people, again, deserve that opportunity to become a citizen here. You've done everything exactly how you're supposed to. And again, you're somebody that will be an asset to this country once you're here, and you deserve to be able to partake in the other rights and freedoms that we enjoy as Americans, whether that's purchasing a firearm or just not having to have this held over your head constantly because of corrupt judges in DC that want to make political points with your case.
Right. So this is where we are right now. And my last words here would be, Derrick and Mike, this is not anymore a legal, judicial, or constitutional decision. This is a political decision. One thing that I want to say, and I need to say that, is that none of my representatives from Texas, none of the senators, none of my direct rep, nobody helped me. And I asked for help very clearly. I talked to both of them eye to eye. And this case should have been resolved 2-3 years ago. I did not need to get to this moment, because I know that these guys can do that. They can just say, okay, it's not the senators, the reps, they cannot grant me citizenship. I understand that. That's not in their purview. But they have the political influence and power enough to say, well, this guy here, please look, take him out of your drawer, put it back, put his name and his family's back to your desk, and work this case out. If this had done before, my case would not be in the limbo as it is now. So in a way that, as you said, I'm just returning to ground zero, because that is the way for all of this. I don't want to do that because I don't want to waste any more money out of my pocket. I don't want to drain people's, the help of the American people. The American people are so compassionate and generous, but there is a very, very quick case, and there is a decision. It's a political decision that can be sorted out by a stroke of a pen. I certainly believe that, and whoever can help me in this process. This is why I'm so grateful, Derrick and Mike, for bringing me on tonight.
Yeah, man. Well, really quick, I want to give some shout outs. We got Jason, we got JR, Kristen, Fizzy, DS, and then Dr. Sezki over here in the X chat. Everybody's supporting you. Chris was wanting to know if you've spoken with Stephen Miller's organization. DS says, I love when someone just wants to follow the law and they deserve a chance. That's my take. And then Dr. Sezki says, you need to make roughly a 2-minute video to put out on social media that everybody can share and tag, putting everything very concise into a 2-minute video. I would second that. I would definitely share that if you're able to get something like that put together. But man, I think this whole thing's crazy. One question from earlier from Thaddeus. Can you specifically state as to what their specific legal basis is? I mean, we know that at the end of the day, it's because you're a Trump supporter, but what are they specifically using in terms of the legal basis to say that they're able to do this to you?
I'm not a lawyer, so I am talking here as a layman. There was no legal basis, because the only line they wrote in a 7-page letter was, you did not show contrition enough. This is the reason they gave me, and therefore we are denying your green card. So just to wrap this up, I saw this tweet by JD Vance. He was just in a tweet match with Ro Khanna from California.
Yeah.
Remember that? And then he said, for the sake of both our kids, he says, he tells the guy, grow up. And he says, racist trolls on the internet, while offensive, don't threaten my kids, because the guy told him that whatever Trump was doing was threatening the children. And then he says, you know what threatens children, my children? A culture that denies grace to people who make mistakes. I believe that I made a mistake that day. And the mistake that I did was specifically what the judge told me about. I am not a citizen yet. I should be there if I were there, I should be there as a sociologist. I'm a sociologist. This is my academic professional background. But I was pretty much involved in the whole thing because of the love, because of the identity, because of the honor that I have for this nation. So all I'm asking is for a second chance. I am asking the American government for a second chance to retake the pathway. But what I believe, and I repeat this out loud and clear right now, I and my family have already waited the 5 years that they demand, the law demands for me to wait for between the asylum and green card. I believe that we now deserve, and it's not deserved because we are better than anybody. It's just because I believe that we earned that. And this is a political witch hunt against somebody that will never vote for one of those guys. They know where my vote is going to end. They know exactly my involvement here, as you can see from the 2 proclamations from my city, and even the second one here in Odessa, Texas. So these are the documents that I can show people. This is who I am. So a city of Odessa, the mayor of Odessa, recognizes our work here as an institution organization. We are not a 501c3 yet. By the way, the law changed, I think 2 or 3 years ago. As an asylee, I could not even have my own 501c3 and receive donations, receive support from Americans. Now I can. So those are the things that I can prove to anybody out there. But again, my last thing, guys, is Trump is our leader now. We have his cabinet member, Kristi Noem, Tom Homan, patriots. If they hear about my case, I know that they will be compassionate enough to do something about it. The problem I have is that the next time that I need to talk to somebody at the USCIS, it's going to be anybody over the counter, and this person most probably is going to be an Obama-Biden holdover, somebody that will be highly ideological on the other side, opposite of mine. And then if I restart all over again, I run the risk of, in 3 to 5 years, they say to me, no, you are not contrite enough. This is why I don't want to start everything again, because it is just on them and it's discretionary. I understand that. But this is a political decision, and I am really begging and pleading for President Trump to take care of this, because I know that he can.
Well, Dan Dreyer says what I believe everybody's thinking right now. Dan Dreyer in the Rumble chat says, Eliel is the perfect example of someone coming through the front door legally. We should fast track him now. And I have to agree.
Amen.
Yeah, and I disagree with this judge, too, about you having a right to be there. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a citizen or not. Our Constitution still protects everybody within our borders, meaning while you were here legally at a protest at the Capitol, you had a right to voice your opinion there and to be part of the crowd. Well, we all know most of this is nonsense, with especially them going after people that were just outside the buildings there to stand against a stolen election. So they can not like what you did all they want, but that doesn't stop your prevent your right from going there and voicing your opinion, whether you are a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident or just somebody here on their path to becoming a citizen. You're still protected under our Constitution, under our laws. They can go pound sand for all I care. But again, like you said, this is highly politicized. There's no valid reason to strip this away from you. It's just that they don't like your political opinions, and they have the keys to power, so they're going to use that to do harm to you and to your personal life, to send a message to others that also might speak up at some rally in the future.
Right. That is correct. You are absolutely correct.
Unbelievable. Well, I do got some breaking news here. Tulsi Gabbard has been officially confirmed by the Senate. So the vote is over with. She's confirmed. So it's good news for everybody.
All right. Well, that's awesome. Good. We got some good news. We'd heard earlier they were going to try to push off these votes for Tulsi and for RFK Jr. because a little bit of snow was coming down in Washington, D.C. What a bunch of losers. All right, guys, we got to take one more quick break, and then we're going to come back with even more.
Have a new product or idea, whether it's already in production or just a concept. Whether you're an individual, a small business, or a medium-sized company, our upcoming show on Patriot TV is here to showcase it to millions and launch it in a big way. We're looking for businesses like yours to feature your product on our new show and pitch it to over 6 million followers, eager to support like-minded businesses. Whether it's a single product or a new product line, we have a platform to skyrocket sales. With powerful Patriot TV ads, targeted direct mail, and the influence of our dynamic show hosts, your product will get the attention it deserves. Don't miss this incredible opportunity. Email us now at advertise@patriot.tv to secure your spot and watch your sales take off.
I couldn't give anything a higher endorsement.
I would be remiss had I not include Cardio Miracle on my very short list of secrets.
It's the real deal. It's a real product. It's not another supplement.
I'm operating about 6 to 8 hours, and I've noticed that being on this Cardio Miracle has made a huge difference.
Since I started taking Cardio Miracle, I'm about 8 months into it, the benefits have been fantastic.
You know, if I get hungry, then I just have a Cardio Miracle.
Not only is it safe, but it's necessary to take Cardio Miracle to stay well.
This let me sleep. It's feeling like more energy, more get up and go. And it's all because of what this company does.
For me as a doctor, Cardio Miracle is a staple.
Cardio Miracle to me is hope in a glass.
To try Cardio Miracle for yourself and get a special fan discount, go to the host page right now and click the link for Cardio Miracle.
Thank you for staying with us. And again, the best way to support our program and all the programs on Patriot TV is by supporting our sponsors. You can do that by going to patriot.tv, clicking on the Insurrection. And you know what? Give Cardio Miracle a try. Like I've been saying on here, I've started using this for the last few weeks. It really has made a big impact and energy. It's cut down on how much coffee I'm drinking every day, even though you guys see me sipping it this morning. There's always an exception to the rule. But it works great. Give it a try. And again, if we want to make America healthy again, a good way to do that is also by supporting yourself and supporting the companies that don't hate you. So again, give Cardio Miracle a shot. I'm sure you'll be as impressed as I was with it. Once give it a few days to kind of really kick in, you will notice a difference. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dig into a few stories here. Let me go ahead and pull up our first one, because the battle against this corrupt judiciary has begun. Here's the organization chart that exposes how unelected activist judges are undermining the role of each branch of government. This is a great article. It's over on Gateway Pundit right now if you guys want to check it out, because what we're seeing primarily in the news right now are these activist judges shutting down Trump's actions, the actions of Doge, and basically trying to put up a blockade to prevent them from stripping away this corrupt money that's leaving our government leaving your pockets and going to leftist causes. But it isn't just there. They're also interfering with the legislature and even overriding existing case law, ignoring it. Obviously, I think that Trump is going to win all these cases once they move up, because they came prepared. As there was a great interview I saw yesterday with Pam Bondi, where she even mentioned prior Supreme Court cases that override what these judges have done. They're ready to come out swinging, but this is the same game we always see, is they try to slow down what Trump is doing, fight it in the courts so they can't be effective. They want to continue looting your pocketbook, and they're hoping that this buys them 3, 4, 5, 6 months to do that before the Trump administration is able to actually enforce what we put them in office for.
Yeah, man, and I want to the president from El Salvador. I don't remember how you say his first name. Is his last name Bukele or something like that? I don't remember
Bukele.
exactly, but okay, Bukele. So he put out a thing, responded to this about what's going on here in America, and he said that's exactly what the judges were doing in El Salvador in 2021. So we impeached all of them and then proceeded to fix our country. And I'm sorry, but that's the position we're in right now in this country. Unfortunately, I believe that Republicans as a whole are too weak to get this done. There's a major uniparty in this country right now. A lot of the Republicans are in on it with the Democrats. They don't care. They're all about the status quo. They want to self-enrich themselves. They love all this corruption. In terms of actual conservatives, constitutional conservatives, I should say, is a very, very, very slim minority. I don't even know if it's even big enough to say it's a minority. There's a handful of them in DC. So I'm not holding my breath on getting these judges impeached, but if we want to clean up our country, they've already done it. They've already proven it works. That is the path that we need to take, is to start pinning our ears back, impeach all these corrupt judges, get them out of the way, and proceed to fix our country. We got 4 years to get this done.
Anything you want to add to this, Eliel?
What bothers me in this whole process is that we know, as we mentioned, we were talking off air, is that much of our money is supporting, is absolutely spearheading this thing, because we know that a lot, it is so clear right now where the money from USAID was going to, and this is one of their big causes. And I'm telling you this right now, that I know that is a fact, because all of the USAID documents that have been now undisclosed in my native country, Brazil, it shows exactly that support. So there's that dirty, corrupt money, dark money from behind all of the entities, 501c3s, organizations, whatever you want to call them, supporting those corrupt judges. And when they are there, now they have to pay back. So this is something that really bugs me, in the sense of, as Dinesh D'Souza would say, okay, let's suppose that abortion was in the Constitution. This is pre-Roe. He said, let's suppose that abortion was in the Constitution. Why do I have to pay for it? Right? Why do I have to pay for this crap? And this is pretty much what we need to be talking about. I was yesterday talking to two council members here in the local level about, I said, guys, do we have locally here in Midland any USAID money coming in? Because if there is, we need to just be transparent about that. I believe that Trump is going, and Elon Musk specifically, is going to be absolutely instrumental in bringing not only the corruption of the judges, but who are sponsoring these guys for doing what they do.
Yeah, well, I agree. And I think that's really what they're afraid of right now, is this has exposed a giant money laundering scheme. And this is only one tentacle from that. But they're already freaking out, because we're seeing, they had millions and millions of dollars, I think $280 million that went to journalists. We were supporting 9 out of 10 major media installations in Ukraine. We've had money laundering going through for various causes where it never makes it to the destination. And, oh, look, they're connected to somebody in Washington, D.C., whether that's an elected official or some other political operative, some bureaucrat in the deep state. So This has been their personal piggy bank. They've also used this to fund George Soros' campaign to put in these judges, these prosecutors, sorry, not judges, but these corrupt prosecutors that have instituted no bail policy, allowed theft up to $1,000 without prosecution in California, that was catch and release in New York. So this is the mechanism, because the American people wouldn't get behind this, put their own money behind it. This is the mechanism. It said they steal the money from your taxes and then funnel it off to their own little causes. And this is being exposed. And that's why they're scared. But it's even worse than that. I got a video I want to play here real quick. This is AOC. Now they're pretending that somehow these judges that Trump just needs to stop, when they're literally out there telling them to ignore decisions from the Supreme Court because it was politically expedient for them. In this case, I believe she's talking about the student loan payoff that Biden was trying to use to buy voters. Let me go ahead and run this real quick.
Has been thought, I believe, given to this. Senator Ron Wyden has already issued statements, for example, advising what we should do in a situation like this, which I concur, which is that I believe that the Biden administration should ignore this ruling. I think that the courts have the legitimacy and they rely on the legitimacy of their rulings. And what they are currently doing is engaged in an unprecedented and dramatic erosion of the legitimacy of the courts. It is the justices themselves, through the deeply partisan and unfounded nature of these rulings, that are undermining their own enforcement.
So you're saying the Biden administration should ignore this court, but what does that look like? What does that actually mean?
I think the interesting thing when it comes to a ruling is that it relies on enforcement. And it is up to the Biden administration to choose whether or not to enforce such a ruling.
But is that...
My goodness.
Yeah, so I guess it's up to the Trump administration to choose whether to enforce these rulings or not, even though clearly Article 2 in the Constitution states that regarding the Treasury or preventing DOJ from going in, that this is clearly under the executive purview to not just spend the dollars allocated by Congress, but also to go through and audit it and make sure that it is in line with our policy. And again, we saw Biden do this. Remember the money that was allocated for Trump's border wall, and then Biden never moved forward with that. Instead, he stacked it up, and then once Trump won the election, they tried to sell off the pieces of it so Trump couldn't go back and build the border wall once he assumed power again. So this is again, if these people weren't two-faced and had double standards, they'd have no standards at all.
Right.
Absolutely. I want to give a quick shout out to Fed Up here in the chat, as well as Recon One. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. But yeah, I mean, look, AOC, she will be one of the first people to file articles of impeachment against President Trump for doing exactly what she just said in that interview. It's unbelievable, the hypocrisy of the left. They are also choosing some really weird hills to die on right now. I think that they are scrambling as a party to find their identity, to find some sort of, actually, I don't even know about that. I think they're struggling right now to just find some sort of footing. They are losing so much ground so quick that they don't even know where to go right now. President Trump came in with an all-out assault on this attack that they've been doing on us for decades now. And so much stuff's coming out at one time. It's like, President Trump can sign executive orders faster than they can file briefs to go into the legal system to sue him over it. And so it's been really amazing to watch how all this is coming about. But AOC and the Democrats are hypocrites.
Yeah, agreed.
Now, go ahead, brother.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I have a point here to make about, I told you that I traveled a lot. In every single country of the world is exactly the same. It's this modern progressive idea of leftism. One thing that they do everywhere they go, and this is why we cannot understand their mindset. Because we don't think our minds are wired into truth or lies, right? It's false or it is correct. For these guys, it depends on the moment. It depends. And this brings my mind all the time to the so-called, there's a Muslim, and I'm so sorry to bring this to the table here, but it's true. There is a principle in Islam that is called taqiyya, and Brigitte Gabriel talks a lot about that. You are not supposed, or you are not expected to tell the truth when the lie that you are going to say is going to protect your cause. The Democrats act exactly the same way. If it is protective to the cause, they will lie, and that is the new truth. And this is why we have to say all the time, there is such thing as an absolute truth, and we should not let that go ever in our lives, or else we're going to lose Western civilization.
Agreed, and well said. Let me go ahead and pull this up, because I think this is the other thing that the left is really terrified of right now. Doge investigating feds whose net worths have exploded after Samantha Power bombshell. And this was revealed that she increased her family wealth from, I think it was like a 6 point some odd million to over 30 million in just 4 short years under the Biden regime while she was over there facilitating at USAID. And this is something we've all talked about for years, whether that's Congress people, violating insider trading rules that don't apply to them apparently, or other people within government using it to enrich themselves. And just so you guys know, as of yesterday, now the top search in DC is criminal defense attorney, after the announcement was made that Doge is going to start digging into some of these employees that have seemingly used their position to enrich themselves.
The only thing I want to know is, do these members of Congress and Senate fall under the official term of federal employee? Because those are the people that I want to see investigated for, a $200,000, less than $200,000 a year salary, and they're worth 60, 70, 80 million dollars. It's pretty fascinating, and they were not worth that before they went into office either. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of unelected bureaucrats who are doing it too, but I definitely want to see all these people investigated. Elon Musk and Doge have officially broken the left. Like, I mean, they don't even know what to say or do right now about this guy.
Yes. Sorry, Eliel, go ahead.
Well, no, my point is exactly what Derrick just said. They don't have time to breathe, and that's what I think Trump learned from the first term. They did not allow him any room to breathe for 4 long years, and until especially the bombshell, the COVID thing, all the pandemic, all the shenanigans, Trump now is applying to them exactly the same thing. I was reading an article from a guy the other day, and he was saying how the media, like New York Times, Washington Post, all the leftist media, how they work before a piece of news makes it to the airwaves. So they said that there are moments, there are processes, there are protocols, there are table meetings, and then at the end of the day, at the end of a week, that thing comes out. And they said, this guy was writing, Trump is not allowing them to have that time to even the whole protocol of the media, this castle of the media, the way they used to operate on, it is just gone, because Trump does not give them any time to even think about, okay, what about that? Gone. Oh, let's talk about gone. So It's like every single day is a hammer falling down on them. It's funny to see. Funny to watch.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing that's really big about this, if they're going to start investigating this, looking at individuals, is this means right now people that have been helping them plot against Trump and put some of this lawfare in place, now they're going to suddenly be more concerned about themselves, worried about criminal jail time for things that they've done that violated the law and were swept under the rug. And the embarrassment, even if we can't find a crime to charge them with for enriching themselves and their family and abuse of power, even if they technically did that in a legal manner, they're going to be exposed. Now, I get that this is the left, and they elevate criminals. They don't push them down. So, but the other thing, and unfortunately we're almost out of time, that their lawfare has led to is this other announcement that Doge, instead of being allowed to go in with a scalpel and cut the waste, fraud, and abuse and get rid of the excess government employees, they may just have to cut entire government departments, because they're going to lock them out of their ability to go through with the scalpel and just carve out the rot. Then I guess we're going to have to go in with a sledgehammer and just eliminate these things entirely. Unfortunately, we are almost out of time here, so I'm going to give you one last chance here, Eliel, if you want any words of wisdom you want to leave our audience with, and also what is the best way to find you online, and how can they help you?
Excuse me. Guys, thank you so very much. I'm honored. And again, I speak as one of yours. I think the way you think. I never had that assimilation time for America. I assimilated before I came. So I am so grateful for all the support that you guys can give us and my family. You can find me. I just returned to X. I was really afraid of going back to any social media after January 6th. I'm back on X. You can find me at Eliel Rosa USA. That is, you can find me, my name there, my handle there is Anno Domini. And I'm so grateful. And I just leave you all with this message. There has never been and there will not be another country like the United States of America. I could speak here for 2 days why I think that is. But guys, stand tall, defend this nation, because if this country one day falls, the rest of the world falls. We already know that as a fact right now. God bless you all. God bless the United States of America.
Well, thank you again for joining us today. To our audience, please like, share, and subscribe. Help us grow so we can bring more people the news the mainstream media doesn't want you to hear. And we'll be back tomorrow with even more.